Hey guys, just wanted to give y'all another cooking demo. I've had several people request that I just kind of video everything I do for a meal. Of course, that would most of the time take a really long time and be a really long video. And I try to keep these as short as possible. That's why I edit out some of the, chopping and all that stuff. But I was cooking several things tonight, so I thought that would be something that some of my friends might be interested in. I know some of them do low carb, and the chicken that I'm making is a low carb chicken dish. It's a stuffed chicken. It's chicken breast stuffed with cream cheese, cheddar cheese, and spinach. It's really good. It keeps that chicken breast really moist. It's a new recipe really for our family. I think I've cooked it once or twice. My family loves it. So I'm going to do that again tonight, and I'm doing a couple of sides with it. So the chicken goes really fast, so I'm doing some of my sides first. So I've got some sweet potatoes going in my microwave. I typically love to cook my sweet potatoes in my Instant Pot, but my Instant Pot is tied up making yogurt today because it's Meal Prep Monday. So I've been busy making yogurt, and I have to make fruit compote and granola and all that probably tomorrow morning to go with it all. But anyway, so my Instant Pot's tied up. So I'm just doing them in the microwave, and I'll show you how I finish those later. Right now I'm doing my roasted vegetables. So y'all kind of know how that goes because of the fajita video I did. So basically, what I've been doing right now is cutting up some carrots. I've already peeled them, and I'm just cutting them in matchsticks. So I kind of cut them in half lengthwise, and then I cut them in half again. And if the top of your carrot is, really, really thick, you might have to do more than just cutting it in half. So these are the carrots that I've done so far. So I'm gonna do squash and zucchini. You can see I have those out here with it, but these cook really fast. The carrots are gonna take longer. So I want to go ahead and put my carrots in the oven. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to drizzle my carrots, maybe with some olive oil. I'm going to do some salt. And Italian seasoning. Our chicken will have a little bit of Italian seasoning on it, so I just kind of wanted to go ahead and put a little bit of that on our carrots too. And then I like thyme, so I'm going to put just a little bit of thyme on there as well. That's maybe about a half tablespoon to a tablespoon. Okay. All right, so then you're just going to kind of give those a quick toss. Okay. I've already got my oven preheated at 375. And you can just take you a baking sheet lined with foil. I got some new toys for my birthday this year. I got a few new cooking little gadgets and things. So this is one of the things I got. It's a sheet pan, but it has this little raised liner with holes in it. So I got crummies on the bottom of that. Anyway, so that's just a sheet pan you can use however. And then that sits in it. So if you want to, like, I cook bacon in the oven with this, and it keeps that grease away from it. So I'm gonna roast my vegetables on that. So I'm just gonna dump the carrots on there. And just spread them out in a single layer. And again, my oven's preheated at 375. So there's my carrots. They will shrink up. So I'm gonna cook these for about 10 or 15 minutes while I'm cutting up my squash, and let those go ahead and cook a little bit, and then I'll cut up my squash and throw that in there. So I will check back with y'all in just a little bit. Okay guys, the carrots have been cooking roughly 9 to 10 minutes so far. I'm gonna go ahead and work on my chicken. I have cut up my squash and zucchini. I haven't stirred it around yet. I put my seasonings just like I did on the carrots and some olive oil in there. And I cut them in bigger chunks because they are going to cook a lot faster than the carrots. And I just need to stir it all around, and then in a few minutes I'm going to dump it on the pan with the carrots. But I want to go ahead and kind of show you how we're getting started on the chicken. So in this bowl right here, I've got half a block of softened cream cheese. If you forget to sit it out, no worries. I had to put mine in the microwave for just a few seconds to kind of soften it up. I have 3/4 to a cup of shredded cheddar. I like to shred my own cheese. I don't like to buy the pre-shredded because it has that coating on it and it just doesn't melt as well, and it just doesn't taste as good to me. So I like to shred my own. And then we've got our spinach. So you can easily get fresh spinach, cook it in a skillet, season it, cook it in a skillet, chop it up and put it in these. I had actually bought spinach a while back because I was supposed to be making this a couple of weeks ago and I just never did. And my spinach went bad because I had not used it. So I had to improvise, and I had frozen spinach in the freezer. So I took one of those real small packs of frozen spinach, put it in the microwave to thaw it because it has lots of moisture in it. So I put it in this fine mesh strainer with some paper towels in it and pushed on it and squeezed all that water out. So now what you're left is just this dry spinach. So you're going to put that in with your mixture. Okay, so there you go. And then we're just going to mix all that up. What, baby? I know, we're cooking. Okay, so I have mixed all of that up. So you can see how that looks. It doesn't look like a whole lot because I'm only doing 3 chicken breasts today. That's what I had in my freezer. So if you're doing more chicken breast, of course you would want to make more filling. So I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to check on my carrots, put my squash on the pan with my carrots, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to show you how to stuff these chicken breasts. So I have already cut this chicken breast and made a pocket, but I want to show you how to cut them. And I'm going to try to bring y'all a little bit closer, and I hope y'all will be able to see it. Okay. So, again, just like with my other videos, the chicken breasts, like these little fat pieces like this that are on the ends, I don't like that, so I'm going to cut it off. I put it in my little trash bowl over here. Okay, so what you're going to do is put the smooth side of the chicken breast up. You're going to lay your hand, and I don't know that y'all can see that, can you? Let me try to back up a little bit. I'm going to put my hand on the chicken breast, and you're going to lay your knife parallel to your cutting board. Parallel to your cutting board. So put your hand on that chicken breast, have that knife parallel to that cutting board, start about halfway on the thickness of that chicken breast, and just slice it. And you want to be careful that you don't cut all the way through and cut it in half. You're basically want to kind of butterfly it. So then I kind of open it up to kind of see where I'm at. I cut it a little bit more. And I got one little hole there that it did kind of come all the way through. But see, now you've got this nice big pocket in there. So let me rinse my hands. All right, so I'm gonna take some of this stuffing, some of this spinach and cheese, and we're gonna lay it in here. You wanna do about a third. I'm doing about a third of my stuffing because I'm doing 3 chicken breasts. Okay. So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna close it up and you're gonna try to stuff that stuffing in there as much as you can. Close it up as best you can. And then I take toothpicks. Mine are colored, so it will leave a little bit of a color right where the toothpick was in the chicken. It's not a big deal. But of course, if you have plain wood ones, it's not going to do that. But I'm just going to poke it through and push it back up. Not like that, because I broke the toothpick. All right, so poke it through the bottom. And then you want to try to guide it back up through the top, like that. So that's kind of pinned it together. So I'm going to do one up there, and I'm going to do one down here. So we stick it through the bottom, and we're going to try to carefully, without breaking the toothpick, push it back up through the top, like that. Okay. So these are delicate. So there's my chicken breast. You can see the stuffing over there. Okay. So I'm going to wash my hands again real quick, because I want to show you how I'm doing one, and then I'll go back and do the rest of them. So now you want to season your chicken breast. So I'm going to season it with some salt. And some pepper. I like pepper. So if y'all are going, ooh, that's a lot of pepper. Number one, my meals sometimes don't put out a lot of pepper at one time. And then I just like a lot of pepper, so. And then Italian seasoning. And there's no rhyme or reason to this. It's just kind of to taste, you know. And then a little bit of paprika. All right, folks. And there it is. So I'm going to finish stuffing these chicken breasts. Won't take me but just a minute. And then I'm going to check back and show you how we're going to cook them. Okay? So I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. I've got my chicken breast stuffed and seasoned on one side and ready to go. In the skillet, I don't know if y'all can see in there, but because of the light. But anyway, in the skillet, I've got a little bit of olive oil and some, about a tablespoon of butter heating up. So I'm going to go ahead and take these chicken breasts carefully and pick them up and put them seasoned side down in that skillet. And you want to make sure that your skillet is hot and that your oil is hot. All right. So now what we're going to do is, now that we've got those in the skillet, we're going to season the other side just like we did the first side. So we're going to take some salt. Some pepper. Some Italian seasoning. some paprika. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to let these cook at least maybe 4 or 5 minutes on each side, because we want them to get brown, because that brown is going to have lots of good flavor in it to saute that. I mean, you could put this straight in the oven without browning it. I just feel like browning it gives it so much flavor. I'm doing it in a pan, enameled cast iron skillet that can go straight in my oven, because we're gonna brown these on both sides to get that good color on it, and then we're gonna throw it in the oven for another 10 or 15 minutes to make sure our chicken is cooked thoroughly. I'm blessed in that I have a double oven, so I'm cooking roasted vegetables in my small upper oven. My bottom oven will have my chicken. If you don't have 2 ovens, you could easily do your vegetables, roast them in a skillet. You could cook a different side to go with it that you don't have to use your oven. You know, just whatever. But I do have 2 ovens, and that's, you know, a double oven, and that's how I'm going to be able to cook both. So I do have my oven preheating at 350 for my chicken. So let's look at this. Oh yeah. Can y'all see all that? So flip that over. Make sure you get that oil and grease underneath it. Oh yeah. Look how pretty that is. I don't know if I can pick that up and show that to y'all. Let me do something right here. Alright. Can y'all see the color on that chicken? That's what you're looking for. So, we're going to do that other side the same way. We're going to get it brown on this other side. We're going to let it go here on the stove top for just a couple of minutes. And then we're going to throw it in the oven just like that for, like I said, about maybe 15 minutes to make sure that that chicken is cooked all the way through. So I'm going to check back in with y'all in a few minutes. Our vegetables have been cooking for about 34 minutes. Our carrots, our squash and that went in 10 minutes after that. So they're still roasting in the oven. That's why I did those first, because I knew they were going to take a little longer. So you see how quick this really came together. I did those, got them in the oven. I was able to make my mixture for my chicken, the stuffing, cut the chicken, stuff it, brown it, and then that's going to go in the oven. And while those things are cooking, I've got my sweet potatoes that I put in the microwave earlier, and then I'm going to take all the flesh out of the sweet potatoes, and we're going to mash them up and season them up. So I'll show you how I do that in just a minute. So I'm fixing to put this in the oven. So I'm going to check back with y'all in a minute. This is good, so I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to throw this in my oven. I'm going to stir my vegetables around, and then I'll be back in just a minute to show you how I'm going to put my sweet potatoes together. Okay, guys. Got my stuffed vegetables and chicken in the oven. It's going. So, like I said earlier, I put some whole sweet potatoes in the oven. In the microwave. I like to do them in the Instant Pot, but my Instant Pot was tied up doing something else. So I just cooked them in the microwave. I just washed them, poked a hole in them with a knife, put them on a plate, and I think they took, the bigger ones took about 22, 23 minutes. The other ones took about 18 or 19 minutes in the microwave. So I've already started peeling some of them, and I wanted to show you how I do it. We like to eat our sweet potatoes kind of like a mashed potato. So what I do is, if they're still hot, you might want to get a paper towel to hold it. So they're nice and soft. So I just take a knife and I cut it open like that. And then I just kind of open it up. And then I take a fork or a spoon and then I just scoop out all of that soft flesh. And when you do it in the Instant Pot, the skin just comes right off. But this is easy too. So you just want to scoop all of that soft flesh off of that skin and put it in your bowl. And then I just put my skin over there, and I've got one last one to do. So we just cut it open. Then I take my fork and I scoop out the sweet potato. And even though our chicken is a low carb dish, a lot of people don't want to eat sweet potatoes if they're watching their carbs. Of course, sweet potato is a complex carb. So, you know, it's a little bit better for you than a regular potato, just because your body digests it slower, so it doesn't give you a sugar spike like a white potato does. It kind of will slowly have an impact on your sugar and your insulin more slowly than a white potato. So it still does have carbs in it, so you can eliminate this if you want to. I'm not a nutritionist, by the way. That's just kind of what I've learned. But anyway, okay, so here we go. So there's all my sweet potatoes that I took out of the meat of the potato, out of those skins, and they're so soft, you don't even hardly have to mash them up. So now we just want to put some stuff in it to make it taste better. Okay, so I'm going to put in some butter. That's probably about 1.5 tablespoons of butter. And this is how we like it. You know, y'all can fix them however you want them. Cinnamon. Again, that's to taste. And then brown sugar. So that's about 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And then you're just going to mix all that up. Ooh. Smells like Thanksgiving, y'all. So you just mix all that up till all of that's incorporated real good. And there you go. And my kids eat this up. I know it's got a little bit of sugar in it. But comparatively, it's not a lot. And with us having all those other vegetables and some nice low carb chicken, having a little bit of sugar in a sweet potato is not going to kill them. So, so then what you might want to do is, of course, just taste it for seasoning. That's good to me. I'm going to add a little bit more cinnamon. And a smidgen more sugar. Just about another 1/2 tablespoon. And then I think that's going to be good. Okay, guys. So that's one of our side dishes. So that's ready to go. If that gets too cool, you know, not hot enough for you while you're kind of waiting on some of your others, you can always throw that in the microwave and heat it up a little bit. So I'm fixing to check on my vegetables. My chicken has been cooking for about 12 minutes. So I'm gonna stir my vegetables and check to see how soft they are. I will check, and then I'll check my chicken. I'll get my thermometer and see if it's done. And then I will report back to y'all in just a few minutes to let you know how it all turned out. Okay guys, everything is done. Quick update on times. My vegetables ended up cooking for about 45 or 50 minutes. If you need them to cook quicker, you can always up the temperature to 400. Matter of fact, I did that for about the last 5 minutes or so. I just upped it to 400 because I was ready for them to be done. The squash was done. The carrots just, I wanted to get a little softer. So those are done. So let me show you those. They don't have a lot of roasting color on it, which is fine with me. They're gonna taste great. So they've got that olive oil and salt and thyme and Italian seasoning on it. And probably when I put it on our plate, just because I like a little buttery flavor on my vegetables, I'll do some spray butter. And kind of spray it on that just to give it a little bit of a buttery flavor. And then of course, our sweet potatoes, which I cooked in the microwave for about, between 18 and 22 minutes, depending on how big your sweet potato is. Let them cool a little bit. Took the, the flesh meat part out of the potato, mashed it up with a fork. I put about a tablespoon and a half of butter in it. I think it was about 2.5 tablespoons of brown sugar and cinnamon to taste. And so that we're gonna have that with it. Aaron absolutely loves sweet potatoes. So, and he doesn't care for white potatoes very much. So we kind of do those a lot. And then here's our chicken. The star of the show. Let me see, this pan's heavy. So let me see if I can show that to you guys. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Y'all look at that. I'm telling you, y'all, it's good. It's gonna be so good. Look at those. They're huge. So a quick recap of how we did those. We made a filling mix of 4 ounces of cream cheese, 3/4 to a cup of shredded cheddar cheese, and one of the small frozen packs of spinach, de-thawed and drained really well. You mixed all that up. I took 3 chicken breasts, cut them in half thick-wise, but not all the way. You want to kind of just butterfly them. Don't cut them all the way through. I put 1/3 of that cream cheese mix and spinach mixture inside, took some toothpicks, pinned it down. We seasoned these with salt, pepper, paprika, and Italian seasoning. Cooked them in the skillet for about 3 to 4 minutes each side to get that beautiful brown color on it. And then threw it in a 350-degree oven. It ended up cooking for about 20 to 22 minutes because you can see how big these chicken breasts are. So it cooked a little bit longer. The main thing is, I love my meat thermometer. These are really cheap, but they are well worth the money. So I highly suggest investing in one of these because all I do is check it and make sure it gets up to 165. You want to make sure your chicken gets up to 165. So I don't have all this plated yet because my kid wants to play outside. So supper's going to have to wait. So I'm just going to cover all this up for now. Daddy's not home yet anyway. So I'm going to take Aaron outside to play. He's already out there. I need to go out there and supervise. But I'm going to go out there and play with my son, cover this up, and it'll be good to go whenever we're ready to eat. I'll try to add a picture of the plate of food at the end of the video whenever we do get time to sit down and eat it. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any suggestions of anything you'd like to see, any kind of feedback, I know lighting is terrible, so if you comment on that, I know it's terrible in my kitchen. But anyway, but if you have any feedback or any questions or anything, feel free to comment. Subscribe to my page. I'm trying to do as many videos. I did more during quarantine because I was at home, but I'm not as home as much anymore because therapy has started back up, and work has started back up. So doctor's appointments, everything has started back up. So we're really busy again. So I'm gonna try to do these as much as I can. But thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.